Good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict, joined by Eric Shamilov. Good morning, Eric. I'm going to let you handle the podcast mostly today, since you're the master of I'm buying stuff because it's going up, and I don't really have a reason I'm buying it, but I'm just buying it, and I get it. But sometimes
I
that
guess this is the way we're starting the podcast. Okay. All right.
yeah. Well, I like it.
Well, since you
Basically.
started that way, maybe I should just put up my P&L from last night for everyone to see before you go there. Would you like that?
Sure, Eric, you could do that.
Nah,
That's
I won't.
fine.
I won't. But it's a
No,
lot. It's a lot.
a
But
lot, a lot is a
I,
lot. You know what? It's very
and
funny
that's
that
the
you say
difference
that.
between quantitative, systematic trading and just I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I want to short the market, even though everything, the whole room is you can read the room, and the market just wants to go up, and you just keep shorting it.
Okay, dude. Whatever you say. Okay, whatever you say. You've been doing this a really long time. You know what? All I was saying is that yesterday in gold, you literally had no reason it was going up. Okay, you said dollar debasement. That's the only. It's like it, dude. I talked about it yesterday.
So
FOMO.
one day gold goes down, and you're getting all
Eric,
excited.
will you let me talk, please? Thank you. You're talking about FOMO, like fear of missing out. You're talking about money, not you, but people are talking about money on the sideline. Okay, they're talking about low interest rates. Cut Fed cutting. It's the same story every single time. And when you say reading the room, I've had a 40-year career of reading the room, and this room is on a slant and tilted in the biggest way that I've ever seen. And what's interesting is you're seeing a little. Listen, equities are too rigged right now to do something like this, but gold could be down 250 points today. At least everybody and their mother is long this thing. Their public is massively long. Okay. Hedges are long. Everybody is long this market. Okay. It's gone. And they're running into a market. This is all I'm saying. They're running into a market. You got to look at what it's up. It's up now. Dude, gold has dropped basically from the high last night 6.5%. Okay. So in one day. I mean, why can't the U.S. equity market do that? Like, eventually, they're going to lose control of them. Why are you laughing? I don't know why you're laughing about it.
Because it's funny. I think it's funny.
Why is
I
that funny?
because
What, you
why
don't
can't
think that can happen?
I don't think anything needs to do anything. Anything can do anything it wants whenever it wants. You know that. And we
No,
as
but
traders,
but
we
it,
need
but
to
it
generate
can't.
alpha every single day.
Okay, dude, that's fine. I'm just saying, listen, I'm just saying the risks are there, okay? The risks are there in the equity market, okay? Literally, let's talk about like what happened, okay? So on Friday morning, okay, at 4 in the morning, the VIX got to 30, basically 29.90 or whatever. Okay, the S&P future has rallied 70 points yesterday and 40 points the day before. 110 points, not even 2%, and the VIX is cut in half. There's something wrong with that. Okay, there's that is a broken market. Okay, a broken market, and this this market, listen, it can keep doing whatever, but let's look at the moving gold yesterday. Gold went up ridiculous yesterday. Ridiculous. And now they've buried everybody. And the bottom line is if we go down 200 or 250 today, which anything is possible, okay, this market is still up 60% for the year, which is insane. They're going to bury people out there. I mean, people are going to basically get killed. And I see an overlap and I'm not saying this is going to happen today. I don't think it will. I do think it's going to happen before the end of October in equities, that we're going to have an outside day that's going to be more than this. And if we look at the headlines, like even from yesterday, think about this. You were out a couple of days ago, and he came out with this embargo on cooking oil, and the market went haywire. Thomas was there. You couldn't even see a bid. Yesterday, he raises tariffs from 100 to 150, which between me and you is fully meaningless, because he's not, as you know from Polymark and whatever, the market knows he's not going to do anything unless he does. Okay. I think there is a chance that he's going to threaten to cancel the meeting. And if he does that, that could be very problematic for the market. But
What are you basing that on?
just his personality and how he operates. That's all. I mean, just to throw a monkey wrench into the talks. Um, Again, I don't know, but my better question, my question for you, which was obvious yesterday, okay,
Mhm.
okay, when he embargoed cooking oil, okay, when he embargoed cooking oil, the market went haywire. Nasdaq went down over 300 points in the last hour of trading. I don't know if it was the time. I don't know if it was the gamma, like you said yesterday. I don't know what it was. But yesterday, what what good thing came out of the market yesterday? Government still shut down. He raised tariffs, threatened to raise tariffs another 55%, which, listen, he's not going to do, but that's not a bullish thing, right? And then the market just literally, the S&P sold off 8 handles and literally rallied back a second later. And what was weird is the Nasdaq we spoke late in the day, the Nasdaq sat in a 20 handle range for the last 2 hours of trading. It was almost like we were closed. So again, and during that time, they just smashed the volatility. So again, I don't know what's going to happen here, but seeing a move in gold like this, dude, gold's not even the big one. Silver's down 6% today. That's a pretty good move, right?
It's a good move. It had a similar move the other day with a 5% down. It's
But
a commodity.
I understand, but you know what's interesting about silver? Even during this mad up move in gold, silver didn't take out $52, okay, in any meaningful way. It got up there. It didn't take out like the high of the move on an extension. And gold had a massive extension. And I think there may be bad longs in gold right now. And I don't know what that means. Again, I don't, you know, I don't know what that means, but it feels to me like, listen, I said it on this podcast a week ago. I have people that I know for years. I'm going to have dinner with my crew tonight. They're all long gold. I mean, they're not traders, but they're investors, but they didn't buy gold until 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. So
That's the problem. That 100% is the problem. And look, you and I have been talking the last couple of weeks. I just want to reiterate: there's a difference between a long-term view and intraday day trading, trying to put up numbers on the board every day. I mean, sometimes you have to take trades that may not align with a long-term view. Your guys that you're going to have dinner with for their long-term, they should all be in gold. Now, should they have gotten in at the high when everybody's just starting to talk about it? No.
yeah,
But
but
in the
let me ask you this. What if gold comes in? Let's hypothetically say, let's say gold comes in 20% from here, which is very possible in my mind, 20%. And if gold comes in 20%, Eric, it's still up 40% for the year, which is a sick year after going up 40% last year. So all I'm saying is you may have to sit in gold for years and years and years, potentially. I mean, listen, nothing goes up forever. Okay. We forget that because the US stock market continues to go up, every single day, every single month since April. People have short minds to what happened in April. And I believe, we're going to see, some volatility in here. But overall, like, the funniest thing is gold being down 140 today. is only taking back what it was up yesterday. So we
Exactly.
haven't even started going
And
down.
the day before, it was down pretty much the same thing. It was actually down more the day before. So this move is a nice move if you're short.
Nice
Uh,
move. It's a great. I mean, come on,
it's a nice
3%.
move. It's a beautiful move if you're short. If you're short.
Yeah, it is.
But
It
I
is.
don't feel like you think that's it. The trend is over. It's all done. Is that what
No,
you're
I
saying?
don't. I don't listen. I have no
What?
idea.
Is it
I have
over?
no. I am selling on stop in gold to add to my position if it breaks 4,200. It's 30 points away, 35 points away from that. I'm not doing anything at this level. We're stay in the short. We'll get aggressively more short at that level. But right now, I mean that's the play in my book. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not right now. It seems like it found a level to hold for the minute, but again, I don't want to spend the whole podcast on gold. I'm just saying, to me, when you're you're out there kind of saying, and I'm not saying you're wrong,
I've
because
been I've been very long, like I've been advocating for people to be long gold for a long time, you know that. And I still do. Now there's again a difference between technically overbought levels. You do not want to go in them.
I understand, but you have a market up 70% on the year coming into this morning. Okay, 70. That's like, if any, dude, an average return on something in a lifetime is under 10%. So
Yeah,
that's 7 or 8 years of return. Just hear me out. 7 or 8 years of return given to you in 8 months. So I don't know. I mean, to me, eh, I just think, listen, I see this in Bitcoin. Think about Bitcoin. I don't know where it is today, but I'm sure it's weak. Where's Bitcoin trading?
109 and change.
109. So it's weak again. Okay. I mean, if this thing breaks 105, there's going to be problems. But here's the problem, Eric. The people that are long Bitcoin now are long it higher levels or this level. Okay. The money, and I've been stating this on this podcast for the last 5 months, the money that was made in Bitcoin has already been made. Career money. Career money. Billionaires have been minted. Millionaires have been minted. People put $80,000 into a coin and it turned into 8, 10 million. Okay. That game is done in Bitcoin forever. For the rest of the life of Bitcoin, it cannot do that. It is too institutionally owned. It is controlled by a massive amount of retail that never had it before through all of these ETFs. You can now buy Bitcoin through 25 ETFs, leverage ETFs, etc. So I'm not saying it can't go up, but it's overowned, and it's owned by institutions and retail customers all over the place. And when that happens, I know you don't believe this, but and it just brings me back to my days of trading in the pit. When everybody, and I could get pit, I would love to have a pit trader on with us, okay? Because he can explain it to you. You could talk about reading the room. That's reading the room. You knew who was long, who was short, what was going on, and how it plays out. This is a different mantra of a market, because there's a layer on top of this market that's an electronic algorithmic rig that buys every single day, every single thing. It doesn't matter what it is, it buys it. So you got that to factor in. But if that wasn't there, if you read the room, I'm reading the room, every single person in this country owns Bitcoin of some sort. And I would tell you, 3 years ago, less than 5% of investors. Now, when I say everyone, I'm talking about people that invest in assets, not, people that have no positions in anything and don't invest in the market or don't have the money. But people involved in this market, every single person has a slice of Bitcoin and a slice of gold. And I would tell you, 5 years ago, especially gold, the bottom line is no one had it. It wasn't even a thought. So to me, doesn't that
I
make
would.
you feel doesn't it make you feel a little leery of the market that is
A couple of
all
things.
what?
Couple of things. I don't think everybody's in gold. You take an average retail investor under 40 years old. None of them are in gold. None of my friends are in gold. Okay, and they're managing big
I
books.
guess I got old friends because everybody I know is
None of
in
them are in
gold.
gold.
Okay,
Nobody is in gold.
I could flash texts up on the board. Everybody's talking about it. I'm going to my dinner tonight. Listen, these guys are very wealthy guys, and I'm telling you, everybody, they may not talk about it tonight because it may be down 200, but they're all in it. Okay, how much money do your friends have to invest? That's the question. What are they going to put in gold?
They've
Five
done
thousand
well,
dollars?
dude. They've done well in their life. I
I
mean,
understand. So you have $1 million saved up. How much are you putting in gold? Thank you.
they put nothing in gold. They don't
I
trade gold.
understand, but if you were
Like
telling them, if
They
you're
like
telling, oh my
that's it.
God, dude, if you're telling them what to do, how much money are you putting in gold? That's what I'm asking. I'm your friend right now. I'm worth $1 million, investable million. I'm putting in different asset classes. How much of that million do you want me to put in gold?
Okay, you want me to put on my trader hat or my, passive portfolio hat?
Dude, I don't. Where do you think gold is going? 10 million? It's going to infinity? Where do you think gold's
All I'm going to
going?
say is from
Without
the year
without
2000.
any correction. Wait. You're putting them in it today, okay? You're risking a 20% correction minimally, and you can how many people could dude, you saw the market freak out every time the S&P goes down 2%, it's a market freak out. You think that any investor can handle 20% down in gold? I mean, Jesus. Bro, these guys can't handle a 2% down move. I mean, come on. You're
So
much smarter.
that's why I asked. You want me to put on my portfolio
I
management?
understand, but dude, nobody is an investor, Eric. They're an investor as long as it's going up. They'll never sell as long as it's going up. Dude,
Fair point.
time out. 2008 would have never happened unless it was a full blow up and people got tapped on the shoulder and were told they were bankrupt and they had to sell their portfolio. Other than that, no one is selling no matter what. It's the same thing in equities, same thing in gold, same thing in every asset class. Bitcoin could go to 65,000 in half right now, or down 40%. You know how many people are selling? None. Zero. Not a one. No one. If Bitcoin goes up 5,000 today, no one's selling. Yes, there are traders like me and you that do this for a living every single day. But the people that I know, okay, from money managers to asset advisors to whatever, no one's making a sale of one stock today. They're not going, hey, buddy, you're up 100% in NVIDIA in the last year and a half. I think it's a good opportunity to get out. How many people think that? I'm just asking you, how many people think that? None.
It's not even a thought in their mind right now.
Right. Well, doesn't that scare you?
Yeah.
I don't know. The stock's up 800%, 100% on the year, blah, blah, blah. And nobody wants to sell a share of anything.
But our job is to make money in any environment, whether we agree with the environment or whether we disagree
I
with it.
agree. I am not disagreeing with you.
There are various types of patterns in the market, right? You have trends that come in nicely, right? You go up three, you come back in one, you go up three, you come back in one, right?
Well,
But
I'm
then
not
there are
sure.
parabolic.
I don't know what asset you're talking about, but I'm not trading for threes or ones on
I
whatever
mean, I'm
asset.
talking about as a ratio, just the way the chart patterns look. There's trends that come in a little bit, give you a chance
Well,
to,
let's
and
talk about your chart
never
pattern.
look back.
Let's talk about, since you want to say that, and maybe you'll give a thought. Like, look at a chart on gold. What do you think gold's going to do? You said yesterday the next hundred points or
No,
500
1,000 points,
points.
not 100. It was 1,000
Right.
points.
So we got 200 today, dude. I got 300 to go. I don't know.
No. What we were saying was, is it going to hit 3,000 first or 5,000?
Dude, we were
Right?
definitely not saying
Yeah,
that.
you said
The thing is
obviously
that the
1,000,
thing was that dude, the
and
thing was
obviously
at
I disagree.
4,200. Why would we say 3,000 or 5,000? It was at 4,500 yesterday.
Run the
That's
replay.
500 versus 1,500.
Okay, we can play in hundreds. We can
That's
play
not
in
what we
hundreds.
were saying. I said the next 500 points up or down. And that's what we were
500
talking
points.
about. And we
Uh,
got 200,
I
we got
don't think
150
drop to
today, and we
500.
may get more, and we may get more. So whatever. Well, but my question is, you're talking about trading and investing, and my question is, if gold goes down 5% today, I'm not saying it will, or even 4, how many people can handle that move?
Nobody could handle it. Nobody.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Even an investor. What happens if gold goes down 4 today, 5 today, and 5 tomorrow? No one's
I
gonna, dude.
I'll
It'll
be
be
honest with you. I hope
Armageddon
it
like
does
we've
go
never
down
seen.
5 today. I hope it does because I've been saying it on the air. I've been telling you in private. I'm very concerned, not about gold, but the fact that silver has been trending perfectly with the AI trade. And it's like they hijacked my trade. So
Yeah,
I
but
would love them all to
silver
get
was.
washed
I
out.
think. Yeah, I think silver was the tell though. Silver never extended the move ever. Not even when gold was trading at 4,100 when silver was here, even lower. I mean that this has all been gold. So I think you're going to see a dump down in gold of at least another 100 to 150 point. Maybe it blows through 4,000 pretty quickly. I mean, if you really sit back and look at the levels, it's a crazy level. Crazy level. It went from 3,800 straight through 4,000 without looking back. So maybe 4,000's the number. I don't know. I'm not sure. But again, let's look at, like you talk about, like, let's equate like the actual dollar trade to dollar debasement or how bad the dollar is. The dollar is actually really good right here. The dollar
Yep.
is trending higher against the euro. It's breaking out against the Japanese yen. And the markets dollar debasement doesn't look like that's really happening. I mean, I know that's the mantra for the sell of the trade, but it's it's just interesting. And I don't think it's the dollar. Bonds continue higher, 10
Well, the
years.
headlines are going to say it's the dollar today. That's what the headlines are going to say.
I don't know, but it's not. Listen, dollar debasement or dollar off trade takes the euro back to, you know the euro traded. I remember trading. I've traded it every day since it's been in existence, and I would tell you the euro was over 160. So, like, I don't know how they're. I mean, listen, they just throwing out buzzwords like I told you. It's like whatever. But there's a lot of things out there now that are looking really interesting to me. It's funny, the market last week, equities. When I say the market, I talk about the market that I trade most, which is the S&P. You know, they've taken the trade away. We had great trading the last week and a half. Really great. Up, down, all over the place with trading intraday. Now it's like nothing going on. We're waiting for a fake headline, whatever it may be, plus or minus, to move the market because the market can't move on its own right now. And volatility is nuts. I mean, they've collapsed it in 2 days. I mean, come on. The volatility was going up, 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 up into the down move. The down move came, like, literally the S&P for the week is up 68 handles. I mean, that's 1%, and the vol is crushed. So again, I don't know, you know, let you know, let's keep an eye. I mean, really the trade of the day is gold for the moment. I mean, I think we're going to see a 2 in front of the down move today, potentially, if they get it going, which will be very interesting because it's funny. We talk a lot about the anatomy of the market, and I had Thomas yesterday pull gold's up 2% moves. You know how many up 2% moves they had? The market was up 68% for the year, and they only had 3 up 2% days. That's an anatomy of a rig. That's just every day, every day, every day. It's like the S&P, it's like it's up 14% for the year with basically no days of up more than 2%. I mean, we had the off the low, we had big moves, but overall,
Yeah,
you know,
but gold's implied. Like if you look at the implied volatility on the future options on gold, Like
Hmm.
it's usually pretty low. So yeah, you're not going to have a lot of 2% moves. What's happened recently is that implied vol has gone up. So now your expected moves are bigger. So it's like 100-point move in gold is like a 50-point move a month ago. You know what I mean? Based on the volatility.
100%, but that also is indicative of topping action. When the market's going up, up, up. Like, look, the S&P is a prime example. S&P just grinds higher every single day, and volatility just keeps going lower and lower, which it scared people over the last 3 weeks when vol was going up. We had 10 straight days of vol up in the market up. Okay, you never see that. That was people getting on protection. Then the sell off came. If you were quick enough and you sold it out, you made a lot. I mean, VIX went ballistic, dude. You know that. We bought VIX calls, okay, and we tripled our money on an 80 basis point move in the S&P. The S&P went down 80 basis points and the options tripled in price. So there's a lot of undercurrents out there, but really, what do you think of 10-year notes at 396? I don't know how much more room it has to go, because if he cuts a quarter, that's going to take the Fed funds down to what, 375, three and a half, whatever. And that's kind of flat. And it's interesting. It's leading me to believe that they think this slowdown is much bigger than is expected. You know, and we got to keep an eye on that. And that may be the wild card here. That you were kind of shocked yesterday when I said recession. That potentially we could be in one. I still believe that. And a lot of the companies are laying people off. And you know what their excuse is? AI.
Yeah.
Oh, we have AI. We don't need people. But really, I think it's that the businesses are slowing down significantly and the market's slowing down. And listen, nobody's looking at the government shutdown in any way to be impactful to anything. And I don't know why they don't think that. Government spending, there's so much stuff in the pipeline that makes this, very, very, at the minimum, interesting to see. So, I would keep an eye on, we're going to see a CPI number, I guess, at some point. I think later this week they have to release it. I don't know who's putting it together, but maybe Trump put it together. I don't think that, it's going to be impactful. Again, the Fed is basically come out and said they're cutting. I just don't remember a time with this much froth in the market. Every single day markets up. The landscape around the world looks scary. I just think you know it's going to happen, but it's shocking to me. That's all. As someone that watches the market, like, the Fed has always erred on the side of caution, looking at data, waiting. They haven't seen any data in basically a month. How could they know what's going on? I mean, they're going off trends that were a month ago. They don't know where inflation is right now. They have zero idea. And then if the number in CPI comes in high, which I don't know how it can, they're going to just, say it's transitory, or whatever buzzword they use. So I think the Fed is going to be making a mistake here. But we'll look for clues after the cut of whether they're going to go again or they're going to wait for data. But it doesn't impact you like that. The government is shut down for months, and government spending is so much of the economy, and they're not spending. You think that that's something that's not going to come back to haunt the market at
Look,
some
on
point?
paper, yeah, I mean, it's a problem, but a lot of high frequency economic indicators are pointing to uh, a GDP that's not really getting impacted. On the contrary, GDP in real time seems to be going up. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. But you mentioned recession. I want to ask you a question. Do you think real estate is in recession? So there are you know what I mean? There's parts of the economy that are struggling.
Well, you know what's funny? I was peeking over yesterday on my Bloomberg TV, and they had this guy Ryan Serhant. He's like a huge real estate agent across the country. Came out of nowhere. He's saying that we're in a housing recession, and he's seeing housing houses on the market longer. Over 50 days is the longest in history. Now, listen, I live in an outlier. Boca Raton, for whatever reason, is Teflon. um, Prices, we're in my neighborhood, you can't even get anything. It sells before it even comes on the market, but maybe that's people moving. I'm not 100% sure, but as we speak, gold just legged another $30 lower. It's going to break 4,200. It's bouncing a little, but I mean, this could be very interesting today. This might be, Thomas, maybe look back. This could be the biggest point down day in the history of gold, actually, if we look back. Now, not on a percentage basis, obviously, but on an actual true point basis. But you got to remember, people that are trading are not trading on percentages. They're trading on points. You know what I'm saying? Yes, people look at percentages, but when you buy one contract and lose, 150 points, you're not thinking about the percent. You're thinking about the
Brought
amount of
up like 2 weeks ago. I brought up S&P. I think when the S&P dropped like that, it had a big drop. I mentioned it was the number 8 point drop in history. You're like, who cares about that? Now you're saying about points in the
No,
gold.
I didn't say who cares about that. I'm saying as a trader, you
It's all
have
about
to care
points.
about that. Okay. As
All about
as
points.
quote unquote your investor base, your guys that never sell no matter what, they're only looking at percentage. They're not looking at points. The guys that never sell that are your guys, so whatever that you say, this is a buying opportunity or hold your position. Eric, what I'm asking you is how can you advise? Let's say you're a money manager or you're doing something different. You're trading for a high net worth individual who basically expects you, like a racehorse, to make money every single day. But how, as a money manager, are you advising your client? Okay, gold just ran up 68%. 68%. That's probably one of the biggest up years in the history of gold. Okay, it's up 68%. It's
Mhm.
now come in 4% off of yesterday being up 3. So it's really only down 1.5, 2% for the week. One. What do you advise your client? Hey,
You
chill. It might
boldly,
go down another 10%, but chill.
you boldly tell them to allocate 10 to
But
20%.
Eric, people are dancing.
Boldly without even blinking. You tell them that.
Well, people,
Gold
I
has been the best
I disagree.
diversifier to equities over the last 25 years. From it when it goes
No,
on a
nobody
secular
cares
trend.
about the last 25 years. We care about right now, right here. We don't care what it's done in the past or what the VAR analysis is of the position. We care right now.
So
It's
again, are
not.
you talking about a passive portfolio or are you talking about
I'm
trading day?
talking about any portfolio can't take a 10% hit. They just can't. There's no way they can take a 10% hit or 15, especially if they bought higher levels. They can't do it. It's just not. I know. What are you going to do? You're going to call the guy up. Hey, Joey, you bought gold at the dead ass high. It's now down 12%, but hang in there. It's coming back. Don't worry. I mean, come on. It's actually insane. It's literally, I got to be honest with you, it's insane. I mean, but that's the mentality of the market that we're in. And, it's funny, like looking at the S&P, other than a couple of days, it's the same trade every day. Overnight it goes down, by the morning it's green, midday, it may sell off or it may rally, but it always somehow comes back from being dead red. And like Nasdaq was not, it's
You
funny how
you called this yesterday, okay? You and I were talking. You knew, like we were talking. I'm like, what do you think about Zion's bank? Right, it's going to have earnings, and you told me it's going to be great. There's no way they're not going to come out and say everything is fine. that this credit thing on fraud is just isolated to two loans. You knew it, and that's exactly what happened this morning. The CEO of Goldman came out and said, "Hey, this is a isolated event." Okay, so that risk is right now out
But
of the
we never
system.
sold off
You
that.
knew it was going to happen. You
Eric,
yourself knew it was going to
Eric,
happen.
Eric, I understand they're going to say that until the bank folds, okay? Until you go there to get your assets out and they're not in business, okay? That listen, I don't want to beat on a dead horse, but Jensen Wang is so the product of this environment. Black leather jacket, coming out, everything's amazing, amazing. He would never ever come on a conference call and say things look a little sketchy. Ever. So you got cheerleaders all over the place. Listen, I remember, I remember Lehman Brothers like it was yesterday. The day before Lehman went bankrupt, the CFO came on and said they had sufficient capital to operate. Okay. When they had no capital to operate. Okay. How does that make you feel? You're trusting in Zion Bank to
No,
say, "Hey, things are good"? I mean, come on, dude. You're
well,
much
the rest
smarter,
of their portfolio is actually fine. I
Eric.
mean, it
The
showed it.
loans that are out there are horrific and never getting paid back. I'm just telling you, horrific. And think about this for a second. Let's sidestep. Okay, the market's gone straight up for 3 years. Okay, 3 straight years. They're loaning everyone and their mother money. I'm telling you, my phone gets, I don't even know how these people get my number. Hey, you want a $500,000
Crazy. Every day
small
they're
business
calling
loan?
10 times a day. 10 times a
Right?
day
10 times a day, what?
they're calling 10 times a day. I get the same thing.
Right. So how are those good loans? Like, I don't understand. They're like, we don't even need a business check. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, it's nuts. And the people taking those loans because the interest rates are higher are never going to pay it back. And then, like, take a look at Jeffries, for example, which is a good company. Okay. But Jeffries is not JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs. The investment banking they're doing is second tier. They're putting up capital, they're investing in businesses, and they own Lucadia Bank, which does crazy leverage, crazy stuff. Okay. And they're not seeing the prime of the prime deals. They're seeing middle market deals and they're doing deal after deal. Now, I'm not saying they're going bankrupt or anything like that, but their balance sheet has to look horrific, horrific. So I don't know. I mean, you're feeling really comfortable about Zion National Bank doing really good
Right.
lending?
For this very particular moment, I think that, yes. Yeah, I feel fine
Why?
about
Why?
it because it's an
Why?
isolated.
Why do you think their loans are good?
Why? Stop asking why. It's an isolated incident. That's what I think. It's an isolated incident. It's too
Okay.
long. That's it. The market,
So go take a look at the regional bank sector and how it's gotten smashed.
yeah,
Do you think this is
I've been putting up these charts of the Goldman
Eric,
Sachs
I understand, but you're saying it's an isolated incident. But before
yeah,
we
for
started
this
talking about Zion, we were talking
particular,
about real estate in a collapse.
yeah.
So many of their loans are on real estate. I mean, come on. Listen, you got a stock market at an all-time high, ripping heads off, okay? And yet these banks, we can debate it all day, but Zion has a lot of bad loans, okay? I don't know the number, but they got a lot. And they're not alone, okay? And these middle tier M&A firms have done horrendous deals out there, and all of these private equity firms are paying top dollar to just put positions on the tape, and these things worry me. I'm worried. Okay. I'm worried. I'm shorting Zion. I don't even know where it is. I'm looking at it. I'm shorting it. Okay. Because they're not out of the woods. They're not
Look,
out of the woods.
there's 100% an issue in the credit market. How big that issue is
That
remains
doesn't,
to.
whatever you're putting up there doesn't look good.
No, that's not good. And I've been putting this up. This is the Goldman Sachs BDC index. You know these BDC companies. You know what
I
that is.
invested heavily years ago.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a quick story because I was an investor and My brother-in-law, who runs my capital, put me in a BDC, okay, paying like 13%. Thing was amazing. It was like a legend. It was probably one of my best investments until it went upside down and went down 70%. I had to wait 5 years. Now we were getting dividends, so it was still fine. 5 years and we punched that out. Thank God. Okay. But the bottom line is but how is that leading you to believe that the market is okay? Like
I
that
think
that is a
again
proxy for the
here
market.
for today. I'm just trying to read the room for today. Right. That's all I'm
Oh,
doing.
you can't read the room. Listen to me. You're smoking. Where's your crack pipe? Take that freaking thing out, you crack addict. Honestly, I'm fucking done. Right, right. You're reading the room. You're reading the room. The S&P could drop 30 handles off a freaking headline in 1 second, and you're reading the room.
Listen,
Welcome, dude.
for
You
today.
are you're a crackhead. Honestly, you're reading the
Okay.
room. I love you, but come
Okay. All
on,
right.
come on.
All right.
You read what is reading the room telling you today? Just tell
Reading
me.
the
Tell
you
our audience.
got it yesterday, and you like. I feel like you fight yourself in your own head.
Okay, dude,
Yesterday,
you're
you
right.
knew Zion's was going to rally off the earnings report. You knew that.
Eric, I didn't know it was going to rally. I knew they were going to not tell the truth. I never said to you it was going to rally
You want
for
to
1 minute.
assume that there's going to be a credit crisis right now,
I'm not
and the market.
assuming anything, but you're like saying read the market. You can't read this market. This market is psychotic. It's running off headlines. Today, Trump can say something and move the market $30, where yesterday he said something and it didn't move the market a dollar. You know, but I don't, listen, I'm watching gold. I mean, this is the biggest move down in history of gold, young man. Go call up all your clients and say, hey, buddy, hang in there. You're down 250 points today. It's all good. Don't worry. It's still up 60% for the year, but you're good. Don't worry. Dude, vol is going to
I hope you're
explode.
killing it today because you need it, baby. You need it.
Why do I need it? I've had a 40-year career. I don't need to kill it today. Okay. I need to help my customers basically navigate a market that literally has made no sense since April. Okay. Try to keep everybody safe. I'm not looking to kill it. Okay. I'm just, it's funny that since we've been on the air, gold's dropped another 40. And the bottom line is I'm adding to gold to the short because it's working. That's all. And I think it's going to work a lot more. And when you said yesterday, what's the next 500 points? Well, we got 200 today. Who knows what we got? I mean, you just think things are going to go up forever. I mean, literally. Like, are you bullish Bitcoin here? I'm just trying to understand. Are
I'm
you
thinking.
bullish or bearish Bitcoin?
No, I'm neutral on it here. It's
Okay.
interesting the new
You
mantra.
think it looks good here. You think the action in Bitcoin over this market rally, which is a risk on asset, looks good. I'm just, listen, I'm
I
not
said,
telling you
can you let me
what?
finish? Can you let me finish?
Sure. Sure.
I said I'm neutral on Bitcoin. I said the new mantra in Bitcoin right now from the Bitcoin bulls is that the money's going to flow out of gold back into Bitcoin, which I think is complete bullshit. But you know, Bitcoin has fallen off a little bit. I'm always looking to buy it, and but I'm not sure this is a good spot yet.
Bro,
I don't
I
think.
love having you on this podcast. It's awesome. You don't look to short anything. You just look to buy things. I don't you know what? It is perfect for the podcast. Okay. It is perfect. You just want to buy it. It can go from 109 to 103, and all you're looking to do is buy it.
Yeah, I'm just
Oh
looking for
well.
buying opportunities in
Okay, and where are
Bitcoin.
you gonna buy gold? Where are you gonna buy gold? It's down 160,
No, I'm
170.
looking for about 100 points lower from here to buy it again.
Okay. If it goes 100 points lower, do not buy it. Okay. Especially if it's coming today because you're going to
I'll
see
buy it. I'll buy
massive
it.
margin calls.
I'll buy
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Buy it. Whatever. I'm just telling you, like you're neutral on Bitcoin, but all you want to do is buy it no matter what. Like
I'm
you're,
looking for the
you're
technical setup.
somehow you're bullish on gold, but you want to wait another $100. We're in the biggest down day in history of gold. Today is the biggest down day in the history of gold. history. That's a long history. I don't know when they started trading gold, but they traded it in the back of a freaking thing when the pharaoh was running around. And we're having a huge down day in gold, but all you're looking to do is buy it. You don't want to sell it. No
That's right.
way. Why?
You don't
Why?
know what I did last night, but okay. Listen, I think another 100 points down is a great level to buy, actually. A great level to buy. And that's where I'll be buying.
Why though? Why? Let me ask you this. Why? It's only traded timeout. Just let me speak. It's only traded above 4,100 for 4 days. Okay, or 5 days in the history of gold. 5 days above that number, and that's a number you like? Like
From
it
the year
didn't trade
2000,
there, it didn't
year
consolidate.
2000, 2012, gold went up almost 600%. Can you explain to me why that happened?
Dude, the market's up 2,000%. I don't know. Everything went up. I have no
Exactly.
idea. Eric, what was like, I feel like this is literally, I actually feel like you're the guy walking in my office in 2007 going into 2008 telling me what it is and what it was and all of this other stuff. This is not what it was. It doesn't
Am I
matter that it
talking about
that
stocks
would
or am
give
I
me,
talking
listen, if
about gold?
gold is up 600% since 2012, it gives me more reason why I'd want to short it because it's up an insane
No, no, no.
amount.
I didn't say since 2012. From the year 2000 to
Okay,
about,
so whatever, but why does that make it bullish? Doesn't that make it
because
overbought?
once it goes on a secular uptrend, it does
Oh,
not
the
look.
secular uptrend lasts for 25 years. Okay,
It
whatever.
wasn't a
Oh,
25-year uptrend.
mhm.
When Obama came in, everybody was talking deflation. It didn't go up. And
Okay,
then after COVID, it spent 2 years doing nothing until it broke out only
okay.
about 18 months ago.
I'm
So
just
we're
telling
very
you.
early in gold.
I'm just telling you, I'm not saying anything today. I mean, it's down a lot, especially on a point basis, but overall, it's owned by people. You have to agree it's owned by people that did not own the asset 4 months
Yeah,
ago.
yes.
Okay. That is a problem. That
I'm not
means
saying it's
that
a
they're
problem. That's
down
why
money.
I'm concerned about silver.
And my
Yeah.
question is, I'm just saying. And then the best part is, listen, silver's the craziest trader of all time. Why would you tell a retail customer to buy silver? Like, I don't even understand. Like, that is so crazy and such a risky trade that it's unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. Silver was $20 this year, lower. I think it was under $20. It's trading at $48. Like, I don't know. If it has a natural pullback, it goes down at least another $8. I don't know. Again, I
$8.
don't know. But anyway, we're getting close. Markets are S&P is down 3 handles. It's had a 4 handle range in the last 45 minutes that we've been on the air. Nasdaq looks a little bit heavier. And it's going to be an interesting day. Very surprised. Just very surprised at the market action in the sense that everybody thinks everything is out of the woods as the Nasdaq made an all-time high yesterday. How just let's end with this. How are we out of the woods? Okay? That's what I don't understand. We don't have a government open. Okay. We have a potential meeting between Xi and Trump the day before Trump's putting tariffs on, which he'll just say, oh, we'll give him another 30 days. Okay. We have a lot of uncertainty on whether that meeting is going to happen. Okay. He's already threatened not to have the meeting. I think him going up to 155% on tariffs yesterday off of 100. So it's almost like a poker game where we're going around the table and he raised himself. He raised himself after he raised, and I think it's just he's pissed off. There was a lot of stuff out last night passed around by trade representatives. Okay, I don't know if you saw this. I sent you one of the headlines last night that there's basically major problems. Okay, with China and talking about all of these different trade items. So I think the reason why he went up another 55 is because he was getting reports out of they're I forgot what they call it, whatever that group is that's trying to do stuff with China, that the negotiations are going terribly. So that
I
that
think the
is
stakes
a
are so
little
high for
troublesome.
that meeting. I think the stakes are so high where if
Really?
China withholds rare earth in a real way, if they actually go ahead and withhold rare earth, and by doing so completely destroy the AI trade and thereby destroy the economy globally, that would almost be like an act of war. I don't think they want to do that. I
Eric,
think
they're not
now,
even they're not listen, they're not even gonna ever even discuss it until Trump, bows to them, takes the tariffs down, etc. They're not giving us rare earth. Why do they need to? They could sell that rare earth to anybody. Why do they need to do it with us? You keep thinking they need us. I keep telling you they don't need us. They don't
that's
need us. I know you think they need us, but they don't
you don't
need us.
know. No, no, that's not what I think.
Okay, because they're tariffed at 55% right now. They can't survive that tariff. That is too
I'm
high.
telling you that China's so far ahead of the AI game that this is why they're so ballsy. It's because they know they're ahead. So I don't
I
know.
think
And I
listen,
don't understand what you're saying.
I think it goes down to something way more than that, but we're getting close, but I think that they are a different society. I want to go to the Palm restaurant in New York City for lunch today, and they could care less, okay? They're a society that wants to work hard, okay? They don't kowtow to this nonsense, and I'm telling you, I know you don't believe it, maybe, but everything Trump is doing is pissing them off more and more and more. They don't even come out with retaliation. They just don't even listen. And Trump's going to go in that meeting and basically beg this guy, for whatever, and then try to save face. Because listen, if he really was pissed off, why is he waiting to November 1st? He could come out today and say tariffs are effective immediately. These guys aren't doing what we want. Tariffs are effective immediately. So that's what I would say. You know, that's what I would say. But I don't know if you want to end on anything.
Yeah, we were talking about interest rates before. I started really looking at real estate. I think take a look at this chart. So we had a rate cut, and we're slated to have a couple more. The top panel here is the uh, percentage of mortgage applications that are refinances, right? So this is people refinancing their mortgages. It ticked up, expected as a percentage, but total mortgage applications are still down like almost every single week. And you can see the sea of red here down below in the bottom panel. So real estate still has an issue. Uh, it's like there's no, what you want is these, you want people to take advantage of lower rates to actually buy new homes. We're not really seeing that. But I am seeing an uptick in refinancing. And look, I mean, real estate is down a lot. It could potentially be a pretty big counter trade to the upside. So I'm trying to piece that puzzle together and see if real estate is a good opportunity to get in here.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on real estate. Again, I think it's sector specific. Where we are in South Florida is still hanging in. Stuff is sitting longer, but from this guy Sirhan is literally saying that stuff is not moving. Market is very, most houses on the market for over 50 days, basically ever. So something doesn't feel or look right. How can the market keep blowing up to the upside? And you can't, real estate is terrible, etc. And then, I don't know. Listen, I think there's a lot of, a lot of craziness. I'll leave with this because we only have 5 minutes. I want everyone to get ready. But the exchange is about to list 5 times leverage products, 5 times NVIDIA. Why would anyone need to trade 5x NVIDIA? Explain that to me. I'm just saying, why would anyone need
Stupidity,
that in their
pure
life?
stupidity. I'll tell you, he makes a lot of money on those. Jane Street, Old Mission,
Yeah.
Citadel.
Well, you know how they make the money actually, believe it or not, when the assets come in, like there's something a double leveraged MSTR, MSTU and derivatives of that, two times leverage. The slippage to execute all those options is the reason why the product is down 50% and uh and
And his
the stock
role.
is flat, so I would stay away from all these leveraged ETFs. It's a very big problem. But I'm just shocked that the exchange is allowing these products to even be listed because somebody that can't buy two times NVIDIA in their regular brokerage account shouldn't be able to buy a stock that's five times leverage. But anyway, again, quiet opening, bonds higher, something we didn't touch on, oil a little bit higher. I like that trade here. I think you can buy some integrated oils. And,
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I
watch,
think oil,
I would
oil could
watch,
here.
I
Oil's
would watch
there's a
gold.
role. There's a futures role, and around that futures role is usually a good pivot. And here we are. Maybe gold is a nice. I mean, maybe oil is a nice long here.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're going to get your chance in gold to buy whatever you need, I believe, in the next 2 days. So good luck to you. I'm selling gold for everyone out there. Another $30 lower to add to the position. I think potentially. I mean, listen, it could stop on a dime, but potentially we could go back to 4,000. I mean, we haven't spent. Thomas can look this up, but we're late in the show. But we haven't spent more than a week and a half above 4,000 or 2 weeks. Okay, so when you say like 4,100 is a good level, now maybe it is, but it's not a level that we spent any real time at. It's just it's blown through every level on everything. So it could come in a lot more. And today will probably be the biggest point down day, unless it somehow rallies from here. It'll be one of the biggest, if not the biggest point down day. And maybe we get down 200. We'll see. Anyway, I wish everyone luck trading today. Sorry we took it so long. Equities flat, and be careful out there for fake headlines. Enjoy. Peace.